Hello. Let's see here. I gotta sit closer. But then my head gets like really close to the TV. You want to wait for some people to get in here? Hope everybody's doing okay tonight. I'm freezing. All right, Punkette. Well, this was kind of a late last minute live anyways. I was not even going to go live, but then with everything that happened today, I decided to go live, but I know it's kind of like dinner time for a lot of people, so I'm just going to give it a couple minutes, see who rolls in here. Punkette, what time is it your time? Where is everybody? Everybody's probably like really overhearing about this. Hey, Butterfly Kisses. Hey, Liberty. So, oh my gosh. Okay. Hey, Zoomer Mom. So listen, here we are again, right? I wasn't gonna go live tonight, but I felt like I don't know, since I covered Uvalde so much and stuff, I just felt like it was, I don't know, just wanted to talk about it. But most of us obviously have all heard about hey Jingles, hey Michelle K, about what happened in Nashville today. That's why my title is Here We Are Again, because here we are again. So all I ask is what I ask all the time, is it kind of same rules are going to apply. I know it's a really sensitive subject and everybody's welcome to their opinions. I just ask that you be respectful, especially right now. So we're going to watch the press conference. If you haven't seen it yet, that we'll just watch the last press conference. And in case you have not, you don't know much about it. So there, a 28-year-old girl, which I'm assuming everybody knows about, but got into the side of a private Christian school, grades K through 6, at 10:13 this morning, and killed 6 people, 3 9-year-olds, and a teacher, a custodian, and a substitute teacher. Substitute teacher, custodian, and a head of students. So we're going to watch the press conference. Now, listen, it's a very touchy subject, okay, because of the things that are being come out about the shooter. And I understand hey, Sarah, I understand it's super, super frustrating, and it's just, but I have some thoughts on it, and we're going to kind of talk about my thoughts here in a second. And I just ask that everybody keep an open mind to everybody else. And yeah, she shot through the side door. So let's watch. I will say, I do want to say one thing. From the time that it was called in, the shooter, to the time that police officers took her down, there was 5 police officers, what was it, like 14 minutes? That's how you do it. So when she was shot and killed, she was shot onto the on the second floor. And I know, right, Zoomer Mom? And so when they entered the building, all they could hear was gunfire upstairs, and they all took off for the gunfire, risking themselves, obviously, what you're supposed to do. Hey, Uncorked with Brandy. And I believe their fast acting and their willingness to, like, I don't know, do their job really, really saved a lot of lives. A lot of lives. So yeah, they had a great response time, and I truly believe that they're why a lot of people are still alive. So I just want to, before we So here's a little bit of a timeline. At 10:13, we're going to watch the last press conference, but at 10:13 is when they received the call. They went through the side entrance and went from the first floor to the second floor where they heard the shots. 10:27, the suspected shooter was dead. That's not what I wanted to show you. Hold on one second. It is, where did I have it? Oh, well, I also, okay, no, first I want to show you this. Before we talk about the shooter or anything, before we talk about the shooter or anything like that, I think it's really important to first talk about the victims. I understand that we don't want to give the attention to the shooter, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. I mean, it's not is what it is, but you know what I'm saying? Like, she's out there. We all want to know. But here, I want to make sure first that we cover who the victims were. And so there has been some pictures. This is very difficult, but so this is Haley Scruggs, I think is how you say her name right here. She was one of the girls. She is actually the daughter of these people, but this man is actually the pastor of the church that was hooked to the school. So the church and the school itself are hooked together. In the press conference, you will hear them ask if Hale tried to get into the church first, and he said at this time that they can't give that information. They don't know, so they're still trying. I will say that they have answered a lot of questions, what they know and what they can. So this was Catherine Kuntz, I think is how you say her name. She's the head of the school. Everything I've read about her from people like former students and stuff said she's just an amazing woman. She was a mentor to a lot. She was a doctorate in child education. This guy's name was Mike Hill. He was a custodian. I think most of the adults were just over 60. Here's the press conference. So we're going to watch part of this. I'm not sure if this image is awful. I think we could probably do without some of these images, but I understand we need to see some of it because we need to understand the realness of it. Like I can't even. Okay, I've got to find the better version of it. Yeah, for sure, Ava. We're going to talk about that for who was only there for 7 years. Okay, sorry. I just have to find a good there. I had a oh duh, that's why. I forgot. Okay, here's the last press conference. Oh, did they, Amber? Well, I'm sure the national media is going to be blowing up every child to find out what they felt during this because they're not terrified enough. And I do want to share one thing with you. So a couple weeks ago, well, you know what? Let's watch this and I'll share it with you. All right. Oh, Catherine had only been there 7 years. They said she was a really good, really nice person. All right.
And we have made contact with the father that lived at that residence and are putting together more information.
So this is like halfway through when the chief
We
starts
also
talking.
determined there were maps drawn of the school in detail of surveillance, entry points, etc. We know and believe that entry was gained through shooting through one of the doors, is how they actually got into the school. I want to take the time to at least
Hey,
say, I
Dippity
don't want to
Doo.
say the victims' names, I'll let Don say that, but out of the 6 victims, 3 adults, 3 of those were children. 2 of them were age 9, one was 8, about to be 9. All the families have been contacted. The victims' families have been contacted as well. My thoughts and prayers go out to the family. we send our kids to school or to any place of safety, we expect them to live, learn, have fun, and come back from that day's experience. We don't anticipate things like this. And I want to say thank you to our partners, to Chief Swan, to and Funk, to our mayor for their support, to our federal partners. But also, I want to say thank you to our first responders who got there and immediately went in and addressed the threat of someone that had multiple rounds of ammunition, prepared for a confrontation with law enforcement, prepared to do more harm than was actually done, and we were able to stop the threat and unfortunately 6 victims. So my thoughts and prayers again, but the praise go to the men and women. As I've said before, we will not wait. I was hoping this day would never ever come here in the city, but we would never wait to make entry and to go in and to stop a threat, especially when it deals with our children. So thank you. Just me.
I'm going to go over the victims' names with you now. The 3 9-year-olds who were killed: Evelyn Dickhouse, William Kinney, Hallie Scruggs. 3 adults: Mike Hill, a custodian, age 61; Cynthia Peak, my understanding, a substitute teacher, age 61; and Catherine Koontz, age 60. As Chief Drake said, we have identified the active shooter as Audrey Elizabeth Hale, age 28. We'll take just a few questions if you have any.
Hey, Lori.
She was a former student at the school.
Yes, we do, Chief. You want to address that?
Yes, from our investigations tell us that she was a former student at the school. I don't know what grade she's attended or grades, but we do firmly believe she was a student there.
She identifies.
She does identify as transgender. Yes.
Is there any reason to believe the shooter first went to the church before going to the school?
Uh, I can't give you that information. I wasn't sure. We know that the minute the calls came in, we responded to the church, so, to the school.
To the school? Okay.
You have was there like 2 officers that went in when they first got there? If you know how many there was when they first entered there?
So it was 5 officers that immediately went in and addressed. We have video that we're going to release, but you can see in the video, you can hear gunfire going on as they're in the school. They address the threat and take that threat down.
And Chief, what do we know about her weapons?
So we know there were 2 AR-style weapons, one a rifle, another was an AR-style pistol, and the other was a handgun. We believe 2 of those may have been obtained legally, locally here.
Can you confirm that one of the adult victims, Catherine Koontz, was head of the school?
Was what?
Was head of the school?
There was some, I don't know her exact capacity within the school, but it was higher up in the echelon.
And were any of the children victims related to any of the school staff?
Unsure. I believe one may have been, but I can't confirm that.
Did the shooter have any criminal history at all?
No history at all.
No motive at this point. They discovered in the apartment.
No, we have a manifesto. We have some writings that we're going over that pertain to this day, the actual incident. We have a map drawn out of how this was all going to take place. There's right now a theory that we may be able to talk about later, but it's not confirmed. And so we'll put that out as soon as we can.
And Chief, is there any reason to believe that how she identifies had to do with why she targeted the school?
I'm sorry, I'm not someone's mic over. I didn't hear you say that again, sir.
Is there any reason to believe that how she identifies has any motive for targeting the school?
We can give you that at a later time. There is some theory to that. We're investigating all the leads, and once we know exactly, we'll let you know.
So was this a targeted attack?
It was.
Well,
Do
yeah.
we know about a history of mental illness?
Don't know any history of mental illness at this time, but we are looking at that as an investigation is ongoing. And I'm sorry.
Did she identify as a transgender man or woman?
Woman.
Was this the only school that was targeted?
It was the only school that was targeted. There was another location that was mentioned, but because of a threat assessment by the suspect and too much security, they decided not to. And that area was here in Nashville, so we're continuing with that.
So that is important to note right there.
Now, we believe it's a lone assailant, and we don't anticipate any further damage at this time, but we're still investigating.
The Brightwood address, she lived there with her parents? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
So the scene is going to be processed throughout the night, probably into tomorrow. There's an extensive scene. As you know, she entered the building, which is one structure. The church and the school are in one building. She entered on the lower floor. There were shots fired on
Hey, Danielle.
before she went to the upper level. And it was on the upper level where she was confronted by police and killed. So understand the scene processing will take place over at least 2 days, today and tomorrow. And we'll have more details for you, including the release of video.
Hey, the scoop with Barb.
Perhaps tonight, but if not tonight, certainly tomorrow. Thank you.
That's pretty much all. So couple notes. So who hey, Peaceful Plants, who taught at another school for over a decade? Hey, Risk. So the headmaster, or what do you call it? The head teacher there, she'd only been at this school for 7 years. So I agree with everybody in chat. That part of it didn't fully make sense to me because, because originally, to be quite honest, I thought, well, when I say she, I get it. She identifies as a male. Okay. But for my brain, I just have to just say she because it's just what I keep seeing everywhere. I don't mean any offense. So I thought maybe that she came in to attack the, head person if she went to school there. But now that we know that she's only been there 7 years, the only thing that I can think of was that she came in the side door and shot through the side door and then went over and found the office, or yeah, the thing is, so she was the headmaster is that what you called it, the headmaster at Christian Presbyterian? So I mean, we have to look too. Was the pastor's daughter caught in the crossfire? Was the pastor's daughter an intended target? For some reason in this classroom of kids, or wherever these kids were, we only know that 3, oh yeah, don't be rude, Risk. 3, I know you're goofy, Risk. 3 kids were killed. I don't know if they were all in one classroom or kind of how that all played out. So I don't know. There is, like you heard him say, there is a manifesto that I think will tell a lot. They also did say that, I'm not sure if you guys heard this or not, but there was another school that she had intended to target, but their security was too tight at that school, so she opted out of it. So I kind of want to know what school was it? I don't know. It's really hard because I think in some of this, it really comes down to so let's say that it was she was upset with the Christian church because of their views on maybe her lifestyle. Let's say that is their theory. I'm not saying that's the case, but that's what a lot of people are running with right now. So let's say that was their theory. I feel like at the end of the day, a lot of it is like our lack of understanding each other or being willing to understand each other, because I don't care what kind of lifestyle you have. I really don't. I have no, whatever. That's between you and whatever. That's your deal. But I have an issue when we start hurting each other because we're trying to prove that our way is the right way or something. Does that make sense? Like, no violence is okay. No violence is okay. If this girl was tormented, because if you look at pictures of when she was a child and stuff and growing up into the teen years, she had flowery dresses on, so something happened and I get it. Or maybe she always identified. I don't know. But there's like, what is the right answer? Because at the end of the day, right, so we're running with the transgender thing, and I'm not saying that wasn't a part of it. It very well might have been a part of it. But we're missing the huge picture then. Because I can guarantee you that the 9-year-olds had nothing to do with whether or not somebody, had no opinion on a transgender person. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. I just feel like we've become so stuck in our own ways in this country that it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. And now it's like, I don't want to miss the big picture of the mental health aspect of this. And I don't mean about the transgender thing. I mean the mental health aspect of what, look, there's a lot of people that have really bad lives and have trauma and stuff, and they don't go shoot up a school. So clearly what we're seeing is a very big mental health issue. Uvalde, Salvador, mental health issue. Like, yeah, it was obviously a very targeted attack. They're not saying that she just had maps of the school. They're saying she had very detailed maps. And if you read about her, she was like a graphic artist, and actually a very talented one from some of the things I've seen. And he, I don't know, but she, I would assume she knew enough, I would think, to know what doors to shoot through. The hard thing is people send their kids to private school thinking they'll be safe, right? So you send your kid to a private school. That school, somebody said, was $16,000 a year. So you send your kid to school and you pay $16,000 a year. Look, they're not safe. They're not safe. Our kids are dying because we can't accept each other. Like, our kids are dying because we are unkind people. Exactly. Babies are not targets for any okay, so Ava, can I pin? Thank you. Okay, listen. So I want to touch on that. Thank you for saying that, because I have a friend who is in the LGBT family as well. And I remember having this conversation with her a long time ago. And she said, look, this is not an easy, and I'm just going to say this because what's the matter, Punkette? Oh, yes, Punkette. She said, this is not an easy lifestyle at all. She said, you have to make sure that this is a lifestyle that you're 100% goes along with it. And that means the person you're going to endure. But I remember her saying, but none of that is ever going to make me be unkind to somebody. And so it's interesting that Ava said that. Right, exactly, Risk. That's what you're saying. 14 minutes, they saved a lot of lives. I'm glad Ava said that, because that's kind of my like. And the thing with a school shooter, and I'm just throwing out thoughts here. The thing with a school shooter is they go in not intending to come back out alive. And that's what I think makes them some of the most horrific events, not just because they're kids, but that they're going in to do as much damage as they can and not really caring much about coming out alive. Like she probably knew that she wasn't coming out alive. But something happened in her life. And I don't even know. I don't know anymore, y'all, what the right answer is. I was going to share this story with you. A couple weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer, I was working from home that day, and we got a text, and it said that our school was on lockdown. And I was like, okay, it's a drill. And then it came and it said, like, this is not a drill. The kids are on lockdown or whatever. And I remember my brain was like freaking out. They're like, we're trying to get a hold of the situation. So then the police came. And when you go on lockdown in a school, I didn't realize that a lot of phones, like, it'll cut out. So like my daughter's cell phone and stuff, all their phones, like they had jammed the lines or something. So she couldn't reach me and we couldn't reach each other. And our school did a really great job of updating us and stuff. But it was like a half hour before we knew that they were okay. And parents were trying to get into the school, and which I didn't but I remember, well, this was the second time, Lori. This was just a few weeks ago. Oh my gosh. I just remember them coming across. It ended up being, I think 2 boys did get arrested. We don't know exactly what it was for. I guess they didn't have loaded guns, but they were in school, and yeah. But anyway, somehow, yeah, I don't know what they did, but they're gone now. But I remember my kids walking across the yard that day, and I just started crying when they came in, and we were going over like what happened and stuff. Now, our school did a fantastic job, but they've spent a lot of money training on it. So my one son said, it was exciting, Mommy. He's 10. I don't think he really grasped it that much. And my older son wouldn't show me emotion. Even if he tried, he was like, yeah, whatever. I'm just going to jump out the window, but my daughter was really, really scared. She said that, the girls in her class, she explained it best. She said and I'm telling you this for a purpose, when it went more than 30 seconds and they saw their teacher's face, that they knew it wasn't a drill. And like she said, that's when they all went to the corner. And I get emotional. She said, all I kept thinking was, I'm going to die just like those kids in Texas. It hurt. Oh, sorry. This is an emotional topic. It hurts my heart that they have to think that. We do, Lori, we do. And she's 13, and she's a girl, and they know, they heard about today before, but she said, I just kept thinking I was going to die like those kids in Texas, and she couldn't reach me. Yeah. And she said, I just thought I was never going to see you again. Oh, sorry, y'all. But all it made me think of was today, like what those parents must have felt. Because mine came across the lawn, but like and she said like that, I'm like a mess, that when she went to her next class, the teacher was like, pretty emotional and stuff, their next teacher, because they had to transfer classes. And I think about the teachers too, you know, like they have to be strong and not like let it bother them. But at the same time, they're tore up. Most of them have kids of their own in that school, you know. And I just today really like it again. The reason I wanted to go live because it again just puts it into perspective. Like those parents had to live the real deal today. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I know the gun thing is a thing, and in 11 we have to address it. But I think we are in desperate need of mental health help in this country badly, badly. And I don't know how to fix that or even what level to start to fix it, because it's not even just high schools anymore, y'all. Not that that makes it better. It's K through 6 schools where they're just dying. Where these kids. So now it's like we're skipping over everything that happened today, and now everybody like, well, she's a transgender that killed a school. Okay, well, forget that. Like, okay, take that equation out of it. Like for just 1 second, she was a hurting individual for some reason that might have had something to do with it, who took kids' lives and didn't even give them the chance to make any decision of how they identify. You know, like it doesn't. I had to play. So Ava, I did actually, because I do this. Okay, Zoomer Mom, I did that same thing today when you guys talked about the safety plan. Whenever this happens, that's the thing. It's happened twice this year at our school that they've had lockdowns, and this was the first like one where they were actually at the school before it was overnight. So they never went to school, but this was actually at school. But so we always go over it again. And my youngest, I said, you just lay down and play dead. And he was like, what? Why am I going to do that? I said, just lay down and play dead if the shooter gets in. And he goes, yes, I am not supposed to play the hero. My teacher, and he went like this, my teachers made that perfectly clear. Yeah, there was preschools there today, preschoolers there. And but what makes me sad is like, what kind of a point do you have to be at your life where you're willing to kill innocent kids? And so that's why I don't totally understand all that went down as far as, because why just those 3, you know, were they in the hall? What? But you know, maybe it wasn't just those 3. I think we have the police to thank for the fact that, and it's awful that any lives had to be taken, but just saying, had the police come in 14 minutes in Uvalde, there would have been some students living and a teacher. But I'm just saying. Yeah, the psychological damage, media, please. I don't even know why I'm preaching this. It's like, get out of their faces. Oh my goodness. It used to be this happens. Exactly, Randy. Now it's not even, yeah. Well, right, because that's what people were saying on the, you know, on the radio is like, I don't even know what the answer is anymore, because we can address the gun thing, but then they're still going to get them. And, you know, I have mixed opinions on that. But then we're going to lock the doors, and the doors were locked, and she shot through the door. So it's like, what is the right answer? Yeah, Amber's kids' school has bulletproof glass and everything like that. And, you know, this was a private school, so they didn't, like, all private schools should have a resource officer. But again, would a resource officer been able to be where, you know, like, it's just 14 minutes, y'all, is a pretty insane, is a job well done. I'm just telling you, I keep going on about that, but that's because that's such a sore subject with me of how it was handled in Uvalde. That is like, those people didn't care about their own life. They were taking that shooter down. They went to gunfire. They heard it on the second floor. They had no idea where the shooter was or what they were walking into. Yeah, there's no right answer other than we have got to stop. Like, we have got to stop immediately. Oh my goodness, immediately. Did y'all notice on Facebook and everything? Immediately, each side was divided. And it was a gun issue, or it was a transgender issue, or it was this, or it was that. And I was like, isn't this exactly why we're here right now? Like, isn't this what's happening? We're just a country divided and people divided against each other. Like, be examples. Yeah, you do. You have to ask what kind of glass, you know. And I'm like, this is how we got here. What if for just a day? What if just for a day we let that all go? If we just and now my kids are fighting. So if we just let that go for what? Awesome. I live in Arkansas and every school in Arkansas has recess all day. Yeah, Sarah, we got a police officer this year, and I'm telling you, the kids, he is just amazing. He's the best thing that's ever happened to our school. He is so good and amazing with the kids, and our school spent a lot of money to have like some special agent, former FBI terrorist guy come in and do specific training for like 2 days. And I'm telling you, our school has been what I would say pretty flawless as far as executing. Like, no, when this type of, when this type of situation happens, there's never going to be a flawless execution plan. You don't know how you're going to react. Like, my cousin works in my kid's school, and I said, were you scared? She's a social worker. She said, I was absolutely, she said, I wasn't scared until I realized it wasn't a drill. And all the police from every surrounding county were tearing through the halls to clear out the building. And that was the most traumatizing for, I think, a lot of it. I mean, they had to, but still. Yeah, love my Charlie Faith. Sometimes I think, like, the Patriot, what are those? The Patriots riders that protect soldiers or something for like during their, I mean, like, if a school district doesn't have the money to pay a resource officers, then I say train a veteran. And I'm sure there are several veterans who would like to do that. So I'm not sure. Oh, that video they're going to release, I think they'll do it tactfully. I think that you won't hear any children or something, but he did say you will hear gunshot, and they're going to release the video. I'm really shocked they're going to release the video this soon. But I mean, I'll show you a picture. I think we've all seen a picture, but you guys got to forgive me. I'm a little bit confused because some people said this Audrey was a male identifying as a female, but I thought it was like to me, it looked like a female identifying as a male. There's a lot of different pictures going around and stuff. They said they were going to release it either tonight or tomorrow. Whoops, what did I just do? Okay, so this was the picture. Yeah, okay, so you heard both too, Brandy. So forgive me, I'm just going to show this picture. Honestly, I've heard it both ways, female to male. Okay, thank you, Ava. I think he misspoke in the press conference, and some people were giving him a hard time because he misspoke a couple times. Look, you do the best you can. Like, you do the best you can. No one I don't care what anyone says. You cannot fully prepare yourself to walk into a situation like that. I just don't think you can fully prepare yourself to ever walk in to find children like that. So this is just Okay, so yeah, so this was her as a gotcha. Jeez. You know what? Oh, okay. Right, exactly, Brandy, especially as unfolding. He's tired too. Like born Audrey. Okay, thank you, Ava. Now, can somebody else clarify something for me that's been going around that I think people got mixed up because there's a Samantha being thrown out there, but I don't think that Audrey and Aiden went like they identify, like I don't, where did Samantha come from? Somebody help me with that. Yeah, right, Brandy, exactly. There's that poor police officer since 10:13 this afternoon has been on high alert, and he has seen the worst of the worst today. He might have a couple things he speaks or spokes. Okay, so I think Samantha somehow got thrown in there. That I don't think that, yeah. Because there's also a picture floating around that doesn't at all look like the shooter too. So just be very careful about what, obviously there's things floating around, but then there's people laughing, posting things like the FBI is taking down his posts and stuff, and they're laughing about it. And I'm like, none of this is funny. Like, you're not sticking it to the FBI. Like, and you know what else is frustrating? Is it like you look at tragic situations like that, and then you look at people like Alex Murdaugh, who just like so carelessly just took the life of his kid and his wife, and it just makes you even more sick about some of the things we see in this community. Like that pastor, who's the pastor of the church, who lost his daughter today. That was his only daughter. Like, it just, Audrey's mother posted this morning before this happened about, really love my Charlie Faith. Wow. Oh, okay. Dude, listen, see something, say something. I mean, again, we've got to learn from this. Like, even Salvador's grandma, she is a victim. She got shot, but remember, she found the weapons and kicked him out. Yeah, but I mean, you see something, say something. It's not normal. It's not normal. And something happened. Something happened to this girl that made her go fill with such anger. Well, I was listening to the internet sleuther had this game. Well, I was just confused about who Samantha was. I think, I think a lot of, Punkette. I think a lot will be determined in the manifesto. But I mean, this was obviously planned for a very long time. I think because it said, it had what, well, okay. So what if, y'all hear me out? What if wait a second. What if this school was never the target to begin with? Maybe this school was only chosen because it didn't have the security. Because if you remember, he said that there was another school listed, but they assumed, based on her whatever manifesto, that she chose not to carry that out at that school because of the security. So this school, we know, didn't have the resource officer or any officer. And she probably found, given that she went in the side door and shot the side door, we can assume that she probably knew that that might be the easiest way to shoot the door and go in there. She did go there as a child, but the only thing that confused is she's 28. So it only goes up to 6th grade. Not that she couldn't still have bitter feelings, but no one that was really there then, like, were one of her victims. So that was the only thing. But Yes, she was a former student. They said they don't know how long she was a former student or what. Somebody do the math for me. 2012. What is this year? 23. Okay, so that's 11 years ago. So she's 28. So she would have been 18. Her mom was posting things of like, this has been the hardest year of my life. I can't believe this. And it was something to do with the kids because her friends were like, encouraging her about the kid, we've been there and stuff, whatever. So I'm guessing that was the year things started to change and they had, because she would have been 18 and they had some, well, that's what that's the big thing, Brandy, that it is. And the bottom line is my stance as a Christian on how I feel about it doesn't give me a right to hurt somebody else. And their stance doesn't give them a right to hurt somebody else for viewing it differently. It's just, wow, it's crazy. So I'm just curious if she did plan to attack both schools or if one was just happened to be I don't know. I do find it a little bit odd that the pastor's daughter was one of the deceased. I think we'll know a lot more in the next couple of days. Do you watch Women's BB? No, I don't. What is that? I don't know. Love my Charlie face. And I know you're not meaning that, nasty. Hey, I just like, oh, March Madness. Yes. Yes. Well, I've been watching both. Love the women's. That's been really wild. The men's, my bracket was totally broke. So, yeah, it's been wild. I would just encourage everybody, no matter what side of the spectrum you're on, to just be kind. I'm hoping, every time this happens, we all hope that people are going to see it as a time to start accepting each other more. And, and it didn't happen with Uvalde. Well, yeah, I love my Charlie Faith. To be quite honest, I mean, think of menopause. I'm in pre-menopause or whatever you call that, perimenopause. Like that, your hormones do some freaking crazy things, if it's not being monitored right or something. Yeah, for sure, Sarah. That's the thing. She had detailed maps and she was a brilliant graphic artist. And I just, it's heartbreaking that she felt so little. I don't know. Good job, Allie. Right, Barb? See, you get it. It's tough. People that say, well, I know there's some guys in here. Sorry, guys. But any of those hormone type things or any of that kind of stuff can really, if it's not monitored correctly, it can really, really mess a person up. I'm a firm believer in that. Oh gosh, Brandy, that's awful. Look at Barb saying it now. Menopause and depression almost killed me. It's really rough. So I just encourage anybody that's taking any type of, whether you're a woman, male, trans, whatever, hormone stuff, that you're really having it monitored well. Yeah. So anyways, y'all, I'll probably hop on here tomorrow when we have more updates, but I just wanted to kind of go over what we know. And I hope no one my whole point, I hope you guys all hear my heart that I don't really care about anybody's decisions of how they walk in this world. I just care about that we see the grand scheme of being kind to each other and that this has to stop. And that we need to look at every aspect of it, whether it be guns or mental health. But I think the first thing we've got to do is in mental health. We have to get on top of that. Like now. Thanks. It's never, oh, thanks, Barb. It's never an easy topic, but man, I thought we're here again. Like, how are we? Yeah. But all right, guys. Well, I love you all and thank you for being here and kind of just hanging and hearing us all out as we ranted. And we'll keep you updated and just pray for those families, even the mother of the shooter. Remember, she's not the shooter. I can't imagine walking in her shoes either. So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.